we have this tweet that I saw, which was going viral on X, which is a lie. They say these dopamine sites have surged in popularity in South Korea. At no cost at all, users can relieve stress by browsing fake menus, filling shopping carts, taking virtual smoke breaks, and tracking couriers. We have another tweet about this that also says, oh, dopamine sites have gained popularity by this. This is like a Turkish outlet. They said, on these sites, you can create fake shopping carts without paying any fees. You can place a fake order. You can track a courier that doesn't even exist. The goal is to make you feel like you have money and release dopamine in this way. So is this true? Is this even true? Now let's take a look. This is from the Korea Times. So the Korea Times is an English newspaper in Korea. Now Gen Z turned to dopamine sites for quick comfort. Young Koreans find relief and vicarious pleasure with fake delivery app and online smoke breaks. 2 a.m. Kim, a 25-year-old office worker, opens a site designed to look like a food delivery app, though he has no plan to order. He chooses menu items, drops them into the cart, and simulates the experience of placing an order. It somehow feels like I actually ordered something, he said. Kim says the habit helps him resist late-night cravings. And so they go on to say, they describe other sites and other things that they do virtually. Anonymous users leave messages such as, I'm getting through another day and I want to go home, turning the site into an online break room. Users find comfort in low-pressure connections. Users say these sites are not just jokes. They describe them as short breaks that help them reset. Okay. So, what are actual Koreans saying? Like, we don't deny that this exists. It's just, what are actual Koreans saying? These are a few tweets from Koreans. Here's a Korean. They say, dopamine sites are popular. So where do the real photos of that site go? Korea's become a full-fledged advanced country. You used to ignore it like that. Now you're even making stuff up. What does another Korean say? Trying to break my delivery addiction, I made an app to stop myself from impulsively spending money and eating out. But then, what the hell is this dopamine site? Total BS. How can you write like the entire population of South Korea has gone crazy over dopamine and ended up getting hooked on fake delivery scams? I haven't even heard of it until now. And then here's another tweet. Hello, lately I've been seeing a ton of these kinds of tweets, both Korean and foreign ones. Non-existent delivery guy tracking program, it exists. Program for chatting while smoking a virtual cigarette, it exists. Soaked in dopamine, that's why those sites are trending? No, not sure about that, right? So there's this, if you can pull up that tweet right there, yeah. I think this really encapsulates what's going on. Foreigners are really so obsessed with Korea that they habitually lie like this. It gives me chills to think about how much malicious BS they've been making up all this time to build their own fictional worldview of Korea among themselves. As a Korean, it's a site I've never even heard of, but the comment section is full of Turks who claim to earn 30% of the Korean average salary, mocking Koreans for being pitiful, poor, and ridiculous. That's what it is. We don't deny these sites exist, but the average Korean, the majority of young Koreans are not using these sites. It is a very, very small fringe minority. They did this with the 4B movement. By the way, make sure you stay subscribed on YouTube because I will be releasing a video where I talk to college students about the 4B movement, which with this commentary, you probably can predict what the video will be like and the outcome will be like if they even know the 4B movement. The majority of Koreans don't know the 4B movement. Seriously, I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you. If I explain to them what it is, some of them heard of it, but even when I explain to them what the 4B movement is, they're like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's extreme. That's kind of crazy. So if you don't know the 4B movement, it's this online LARP, okay? It is by feminists in Korea, these like really hardcore 4B feminists. 4B means no sex, no marriage, no dating, no children. That's what it is. And it's the most dysgenic, fat, ugly, miserable feminists who advocate for that ideology. Because everyone knows that family is a good thing. Marriage is a good thing. It's a glorious thing. It's a thing that gives you meaning in life. Like what else is if you only live for yourself, it's a miserable existence. So we know that we want to create families, want to get married, have children, pass down the gift of life. They did this with 4B. And they're doing this with this dopamine site stuff. No, it's not surging in popularity. No, many young Koreans and most young Koreans aren't getting on it. It is a very fringe minority. But why does the internet, why do these foreigners, why does the third world especially love these kind of stories, bump these kind of stories? Why do liberals bump these kind of stories and share as if it's indicative of Korean society as a whole? Why? It's the same thing they do in the West. Why do they constantly and perpetually lie about Western countries? Because they're miserable. Their ideology, all these left-wingers and these foreigners, their ideology is built on envy, on misery, their own misery, their own miserable state, that they see a country of people who build things, who build civilization to justify their own inferiority complex. They project their misery onto us. And they find ways to try to tear down countries that are building and growing and moving, that are influential in society. That's what that's just it. It's that simple. It is really and literally that simple. So I will take the Korea slander because I know there are so many problems with Korea. There really is. I do not shy away from that. I talk about it all the time. If you look at my content, I talk about all the problems of Korea. But I talk about it because I understand Korea. I am Korean. I've been to Korea many, many times. I've talked to Koreans regularly who live there. I have family there. I care about Korea. I love Korea. So when I call out problems, I'm not trying to tear down Korea. I'm trying to advance Korea and to help the Korean people. Meanwhile, all these third worldists online, they just want to tear down Korea because they can't conceptualize that Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world 60 years ago. Now it's one of the richest and is arguably one of the most influential, inarguably one of the most influential.